Hello everyone, Ziljin here with another art video. So let's try to blaze through this as quick as possible. So yeah, here's the first one. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, this is Pokemon fan art. But can you really count it as fan art when all I did was just trace it? And basically the only modification I added was the two arms and the high heel, turn her foot into a high heel boot, and obviously I added some clothing, if you can call it that, the thigh-high stockings, and then like a bikini, pretty much. So yeah, I noticed low punny. It looked like some huge boobies, but then I looked closely. It's actually her arms. So I decided, you know what? Let me turn them into boobies, and there you go. That's the pretty much how this drawing came about. So yeah, you can just look for yourself to see what I like about it. But yeah, again, this is quite similar to my other drawings. I like me some red clothing and then the thigh-high stockings. So yeah, turn her slightly bit more humanish, which is probably not what you want to do when drawing Pokemon. But yeah, doesn't really count as a drawing anyway because I traced it and I didn't really modify it that much. So yeah, here's like a follow-up to that previous tracing of the ogre versus the frost giant. Obviously this looks nowhere near as good because I didn't trace it. I just use my brain and try to figure it out myself. So yeah, like I said, it would be like barbarians versus Vikings, and with the ogre and the frost giant. So yeah, I try my best to match a similar appearance. So this guy is actually closer to my frost giant from the first picture, like that I drew last year, with the mammoth, with the yellow shirt and with the mustache in addition to the beard. Yeah, but otherwise, yeah, he's still huge and muscular. Yeah, and wearing the clothes. So this is actually closer to the first frost giant. Yeah, and then this ogre is roughly the same as the ogres I've been drawing for the past few years. And I just noticed his loincloth is basically like a sumo wrestler thong or whatever, where it only covers the private parts. And the butt cheeks are just hanging out, which is kind of gross. But I guess, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I just said yeah like 10 times. But anyway, so here's a barbarian. Oh my god, I just realized his pants blends in with the background, the grass there. He's based on like dramatic tribesmen. Which one? I don't know, maybe Celtic tribesmen or something. Celtic warrior. Could be any of them. And he's obviously a Viking. He got the ring mail or scale mail or whatever. He got that long sword. He got the Norman helmet, I think. That Viking style helmet. And the Viking style shield, although I think it's supposed to be bigger, and he's wearing more clothes pretty much. We got the boots while he's just wearing some kind of like shoes or whatever, because I guess they don't have as much advanced clothing tailoring. And yeah, and he's half naked because that's how they fought. They actually, a lot of them actually, not a lot, some of them even fought naked. Yeah. And he's got the spear, and he got an oval shield. And because so if you ever played Rome Total War, you'll know that like a lot of the barbarian factions, those warriors pretty much use actually not just barbarians, also like like not just Germanic tribes, Thracians, and then even Romans. A lot of them use Iberians. A lot of you use that oval shield. Yeah, and then the round shield is mostly just the Greeks, the Hellenes, and the Macedonians with the Peltes and the Hoplons shields. Those are round, while everyone else used like oval shield or rectangular shield, like wicker shields. And I think some Celtic tribesmen also use rectangular shields. But yeah. So this was an expansion, a sequel, or whatever, to that previous drawing. So yeah, there's two armies clashing, even though you don't see the two armies, you just see two warriors. Yeah, because I'm just lazy. The main focus obviously is the ogre versus the frost giant. Yeah, so proportion-wise, they're supposed to be like around roughly half the size of the giants, which means that previous picture I made of the ogre versus the bandits makes no sense because those humans are like really, really tiny. So yeah, the proportion is completely different in every video, every drawing. It's not quite consistent. So here's a dark elf assassin. Try to make it as similar as possible to the previous one. This one was actually a trace. So if you just go to my Instagram, you could probably scroll down a couple of pictures and you'll find it. And then I wrote the at whoever drew this picture. Yeah. And then I just pretty much traced it and then just modified the hair a little bit. And obviously the ears and the facial features, because that's how I draw. And the clothing is based on the previous designs, but it's a little different. But yeah, I just looked at the pose. This was actually a black girl on roller skates. So she's like skating backwards or whatever and swinging her arms. And she had like a Walkman or a phone or iPad. iPad is huge. iPod. Like some MP3 player. So yeah, she was like skating around and stuff. So yeah, I looked at the pose and I thought it looked neat. It would be well suited into like a fantasy image and turn her into the dark elf assassin, you know? Yeah. Could have been a human assassin or like a ninja, but I already drawn a couple of human warriors. Not a couple, a lot of human warriors. Medieval warriors. I even drew, I think, 1 or 2 ninjas. Yeah, 2 ninjas. Yeah, so you know what? Why not draw some more fantasy race warriors? Yeah. I mean, if I wanted to, I could just pretty much change the colors and then modify the face and then just turn it into a human assassin. Yeah. Maybe I'll do that if I run out of ideas. But yeah. And here's another trace. This one you'll have to look at my Twitter to find the original artist. I wrote the at her name. And yeah, so this one was actually just the torso, and I mostly just traced the shirt, the hoodie, and the hair. And yeah, the rest is this one is completely drawn by myself, which might be why it looks so static and ugly. But yeah, I try to make this in line with the, you know, perspective, you know. So it's like he's slightly turned to the side, so the pants would also be slightly turned to the side. Oh yeah, and the satchel, yeah, that's the main reason I chose this drawing to, you know, trace and redraw, because I wanted to draw like a bandit with a satchel, and that's supposed to be, you know, a knife, a dagger, whatever. Hopefully it looks like it. Here's the hilt, or the handle, whatever. Yeah. And the hair, I just made it a little bit curvier, and obviously the face, I changed it by turning it from a human into an elf. Dark elf. Yeah. Yep, that's pretty much it. And here's a frost giant that I drew. This was meant to be based on the half-naked frost giant in the previous video, you know, the one that was based off of the Juggernaut. Obviously this one, the proportions is completely different, not nearly as muscular as the Juggernaut frost giant, and not like the head was a lot more square. This one is more like rectangular. It's a little, yeah. But I try, and also this one actually has a mustache. Yeah, so this is more closer to the frost giant that I drew a couple years ago. Was it last year or 2 years ago? The one with the mammoth. But yeah, abs and muscles and pants. And then I decided, you know, why not draw a female version? So these two drawings is closer to, like, you know how I was drawing those static 2D, you know, the dark elf warriors, the high elf warriors, the dwarf warriors, fairy warriors, demon warriors, etc. So yeah, so this is kind of like a continuation of that fantasy race height chart thing, but obviously this one has no height, and I'm not gonna make a height chart for these guys, these ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, the male one was half naked, so why not? Consistency. Make the female one half naked and also short hair. So yeah, I mean, I did make the body proportion slightly different, so it doesn't look like it just copy and paste. Yeah. So I did actually edit. I mean, I redrew the whole thing pretty much. Yeah.
I just realized the forearms look really whack. Like this one actually looks kind of realistic, maybe a little too thin around the waist, and then this one is like, oh my god, this is a fat meat log. Looks more like a thigh. Yeah.
And here's possibly the most underwhelming castle siege. So ideally, I would have drawn like another siege ladder here, a siege ram, and a whole lot of more soldiers. But yeah, here's just the 2 soldiers and the catapult. And here's the archer from the opposing kingdom. It's slightly based off, the Lego. I don't know if you remember. The Crown Knights have blue and gold, and then the new Dragon Knights have green and black. But in the Lego sets, it was actually Crown Knights versus the Trolls and the Skeletons. And the new Dragon Knights were fighting against the new Lion Knights, which had, I think it was gold and red, or was it red and white? Yeah, those colors. But yeah. Catapult, I did look up some medieval catapults, and the designs were way too complex, so I just ended up with this, which is kind of based on it. But yeah, I didn't draw all the details, like you just drew some of it. And I did not like drawing this at all, because it took a while to figure out the perspective, the angles, and like to make this 3-dimensional. The castle wall also, the top part, I made it 3-dimensional. But yeah. So added some details. So this is kind of like based off the Lego, where they'll have random rocks on the wall, so it looks more realistic looking. Yeah. And here's a big, beautiful woman. Yeah, pretty much. Enough said, right? But yeah. So yeah. I've always found bigger women to be attractive, so I don't know why I don't really draw them. Most of the women I draw are like sticks, really super thin. And I do like draw me some big boobies and big thighs, but usually I make the waist like super thin. So now here's more thicker. But yeah, the clothing is pretty much similar to the as usual, red top, blue jorts, jean shorts, and then the thigh-high stockings. Yeah, this is and then the red lipstick and red nails. That's my staple. The head looks a little bit too small maybe, but I think it's just because I made the rest of her so much bigger. So yeah. Nice. At least I think it's nice. Yeah. And here's another similar drawing with the red top and the blue shorts, jean shorts, and then the black thigh-high stockings, sheer stockings. They're meant to be sheer. I don't know if you can tell or not. And these are meant to be sheer sleeves. It looks more like orange sleeves, but it's meant to be, red sheer sleeves, and then, it changes, makes her skin a little darker tone, And a big round pregnant belly. I'm pretty sure there'd be no pregnant woman. Maybe not no, but their heart-shaped boob window, which makes no sense because, the perspective or whatever, this line should not be perfectly straight because, the boobs, it's like pressing up against the material and causing it to stretch and warp and stuff. But I don't care about that. I just want to make a perfect heart shape. It's not perfect, but yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. So most pregnant women would not be walking around with this giant boob window and with her pregnant belly completely exposed and then walking around jean shorts and thigh-high stockings. Yeah. And again, glasses. Glasses. I find women wearing glasses to be attractive and cute and even gorgeous sometimes. It depends. But mostly if she's already beautiful, the glasses just makes her even more beautiful. While a girl that's not as beautiful wearing glasses is not gonna be look any more beautiful. But yeah, the glass is just an accessory, like the red fingernails and the thigh-high stockings. It's not needed, but it does add a little extra details. But yeah. So yeah, like I said, I'm trying to draw more, trying to spend less time talking about these videos, and it still end up being 15 minutes anyway. But yeah, so if you got any requests, any specific characters or creatures or anything, be sure to let me know down below. Subscribe, comment, rate the video. As always, thank you for watching. Until next time, bye bye.